Good morning, good morning, good morning. What up, Chels? We are back at school. Yes, this is the first full week back. Today, we finished it. It went well. Dom is in Hawaii. Jay is in All Green today. Ryan should be jumping on. I hope to God Ryan jumps on. I do not have the ability of Dom to talk for 30 minutes straight. So hopefully you guys in the chat jump in. Solo J, yeah. First week. Let's go over the first week. Let's see. For me, as the art teacher, I just jumped in with 4 separate projects for 3 different grade levels, and they're all going really well. 8th grade, doing window painting. I attended a seminar every year at the beginning of the school year. All the elective teachers get to do their own little half day of PD. Is PD a good thing? Most of the time. I think we generally have good PD despite the general consensus on teacher PD days. Yes, I am the art teacher. I do art. I make things. And I like making things. And I like making children make things as well. So I attended a PD session on window painting. Here in Longmont, there is a very small group of people who, maybe even 1 or 2. Anyway, we met good morning, MP. So one of our seminars that we did for Fine Arts PD session was by a woman who does most of the window paintings, or some of the window paintings, in downtown Longmont on all the businesses. Since the pandemic a few years ago, downtown Longmont has done a good job of some public advertising and the Main Street area, and we got to listen to one of those artists and their process for painting windows. Not necessarily the marketing angle, more about the supplies and whatnot, and how do you give these really expensive tools to 8th graders and not have the room explode? My art room, my studio at school, has awesome windows.
What's up?
And how's it going?
Interrupting.
It's okay. I'm just giving a breakdown of our first week back at school. I got my 8th graders doing window painting. I did a PD seminar for our district art teachers from one of the artists who does all of the window painting on Main Street, Longmont. Hang on one second.
Hey, dog. What's happening? What's happening, chat? Oh, goodness. You know what? I always get so self-conscious about the music that is going on in here, but
it definitely feels like you're next to a Taibo gym.
Oh, I am in a Taibo gym. It is, there's a speaker 2 arms lengths away from me that is half my body size. So,
is the speaker turned towards your wall? Because that's what it sounds like. It's okay.
It is on my wall.
We can still hear you, so you're good.
All right.
And we can just replace the outro music with the gym music.
Okay.
Yeah, just really quick recap of the week. 8th graders, window painting. My art room has tons of windows, so they are just giving 8th graders paint and brushes and telling them, hey, we got to paint these windows, just don't make a mess. I would say past years might have been a complete catastrophe. I absolutely love my classes so far into the first week. We'll see what happens a few weeks from now. Check back in. But it's going pretty well. Yeah, I got 7th graders.
What a positive message that is. That is awesome. Congratulations on being in that mindset, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's all of at least the elective teachers. It's like we're very hesitant of looking at our Q2 classes because our Q1 classes, for the most part, are really great collections of really good kids. If you're listening and you're a teacher, you probably have, depending on how your school set up, and Ryan, maybe you might be able to remember this. I don't, but maybe you do. Where certain groups of friends kept being put in the same class together.
Say it again.
Certain friend groups in school sometimes tend to be placed in the same classes together. And I'm talking about electives specifically because they're electives and you can choose. And sometimes like kids will migrate to one class because they're friends in that class because that's what they want to do. They just want to be around friends because they're little humans. But this year it seems like the energy is a bit more spread out, which is great. Yeah, cliques, whatever you want to call it. And in the past, sometimes like there's a friend group. My teaching weakness is not letting kids sit next to each other, even though they're friends. And sometimes I get distracted, but eventually I'm like, well, at least they won't be walking across the room if they're sitting next to each other, which never ends up well. Anyway, yeah, this year so far, awesome. 7th graders, we're doing cardboard construction because I got tons of cardboard. I want to get rid of it. 6th graders are doing sketchbook covers and then some AI practice and getting into it. So yeah, so far, it seems like they're pretty engaged. I'm giving the start of the year a 9.5 out of 10.
That's awesome. Can I say I was always a kid that always loved to be in classes with my friends. At the same time, though, I always appreciated when a teacher separated us because I needed it. I needed to be pushed to be separated, right? If you gave me the choice, I'd always say no. But I would always be a better student and I'd appreciate myself better, like my work and my focus, like when I was not next to my friends. And so it was like a little bit of a this like subconscious desire that the teacher was like, you guys can't sit next to each other. Wow, all right, I guess we won't. But it was something where I like that. So if it's ever a moment in your head, I think that some kids, even if they don't know it at this point in their life, I think they probably do appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Maybe those kids, that's what they're thinking. Ryan, today we're talking about how we push our kids and when to decide to stop pushing and letting them thrive. But first, I'm trying to establish what it exactly is we're talking about in the morning. So maybe we get started by at least the 15-minute mark, but we'll see. How are you?
I love the organization. I love the structure.
Excellent. How are you, first of all? What's going on in Ryan's world?
I'm incredibly stressed.
You tell.
I am. We are going to the beach for a week, which is excellent. Love it. We're going down to Rehoboth in Delaware, and it's a just great spot to be. I think it's our 5th year going down there. It's more like Lauren's family, so all my in-laws and everything too. But we really always enjoy it. And fun fact, it's actually spent a good part of maybe half a year researching about moving our family down there full time, which was fun to do, just because it's a really cool spot. But I'm stressed because before remembering when on the calendar we were doing this, I had is incredibly stressed an oxymoron? That's interesting. But incredibly stressed. But you can be low stress. Is low stress and high stress? Is that a thing? So
there's positive stress and negative stress. I would say stress from going to the beach is pretty good. I would call it incredible.
Well, the beach isn't the stressful part. The fact is that I signed up for this like mud run with the V Friends community to happen tomorrow morning, the day that usually families are getting everything together, hopping in the car and going down. And so I'm trying to stay true to the plan that I had made. And so I had signed up and then I told Lauren, Lauren's like, that's when we're leaving for the beach. And I said, oh no, I won't do it. And then she said, you should do it. And I said, okay. And there's a little bit of me right now where I kind of want, like, the whole side of me that like ran marathons and that whole world is not something my girls really know me as. Probably like at this point in my life, like more lifting and they're like, daddy likes the gym, whatever. But I don't think that they like seen me do any of these events. So I'm like, I feel like I want to have them see me do it. So that's like one reason I'm like, I want to follow through. I want to follow through because I said I was going to do it with the community. And then like, it's kind of tough to back out now, but I mean, like, you know how stressful it is. So you're leaving on a vacation and then not being there when the family pushes off. And so that's kind of like where my stress is right now. And so, yes, and MP is joining us, and Ross is going to be there. Sky is going to be there, Ross's girlfriend. Jaya is driving us down. So there's going to be a bunch of us. And so, you know, I think it'll be fun. But again, like, I was trying to figure out how to leave the family this morning because I'm leaving from work. And so, so it's just, it's that. But then also, I thought I was doing a really good job of communicating all this. In fact, to the point where Lauren said, yeah, you really should go, like yesterday. And then I got a text that says, man, you did a really bad job of communicating whether you're gonna go or not. I'm like, are you kidding me? And so now there's the guilt and the stress of that. I'm like, what did I do? I feel like this is what what are you talking about? And I don't want to discredit. I mean, maybe there was something I didn't say that was like, you know, confirmation enough. And I get it. And I'm just, so it like makes me not want to go. And I'm like trying to, it's just a lot of internal struggle.
Here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm hearing, Ryan. I'm hearing that you told Lauren about it. You acknowledged the stress that you're currently feeling. She told you to go. So the main points have been communicated, whether or not you initiated that. Is that a good synopsis of this little relationship?
The synopsis is that my wife and I are both stressed. I'm stressed and she's stressed that she has to do all this by herself. It doesn't matter whether I communicate it or not. We are in this moment. And so I want to make sure I'm feeling it for her. So I don't want to discredit, again, kind of like where she's at, because it is stressful. But it does let me know that there is something that we didn't communicate well enough and we have to be better next time. So that's just where I'm at with that. But when it comes to the kids, I want the kids to enjoy the vacation. So I don't want like it starting off stressful. And, you know, the other thing too, and I'm curious about other people too in the chat, you guys are on fire this morning. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
The idea of like my girls seeing me in these environments or in these like events or doing these things, it's like, oh yeah, dad's not just, you know, X and Y. Dad is also, you know, Z, right? So it's like, there's a part of me, it's like, I'm not doing this for anybody else, but like my girls just see me doing something different. It's kind of like that idea of like, I never want my girls to not know how to live life. I never want my girls not know how to enjoy life or use money, right? I never want them to think like life is all about working, because I never saw my parents enjoy it and go on vacation or something, right? So I want them to kind of be like, oh, like, you know, dad did that. So I always just want to keep doing it. Maybe I just have to show them old pictures and videos of like all the marathons that we did through Lock Haven, and then I mean there is a picture of Lauren and I at, like in the New York City Marathon that was like in a magazine. It's posted. It's on the wall. I just don't know if they associate with that. So,
Ryan, this is what we talked about a few days ago. Is let your kids see you playing and do the things that you do.
Yeah.
Positives, you're getting some fitness. The girls are seeing you do this thing, and you get to jump in a car and go immediately to the beach right after finishing this mud run. Hopefully you're really muddy. Negatives, you guys may have miscommunicated, which, as we know, we have not done before, right? Miscommunication, right? It's one of our love languages as Turner brothers.
Yeah, I'm usually perfect. If there's any miscommunication, it's not on my side.
Say it again.
I'm just kidding. It was a joke. You're right. Yes, miscommunication is a love language.
Yes, it is. Okay, with that, that's a good intro to what we're talking about today. We're talking about pushing our kids, when to push them past their limits and comfortability, as well as when to pull back and kind of let them find their own path. I think that's a great, I like this. And what I'm finding in this particular time of the year is that teaching, coaching, and parenting, I'm finding a good little nugget, little connection in every single page, because it connects any one of those at any time, sometimes two, once in a while, all three. And we, when I was with Dom on Wednesday, I talked about how me and the head coach for Kira's soccer team, we pulled some girls out and had some individual conversations with them, focusing on their strengths, focusing on what they can bring to the team, and also focusing on things that we want to see them push themselves harder in. For example, we have two girls who are like, is de facto the right word? When they're, is that what that means? When somebody's designated unofficially, is that what that means? Oh, you're silent. It was getting noisy. It was getting less noisy. Oh, there you are.
I'll try and say it the same way. De facto? Yeah. I think that's what it means.
That's what that means. So yeah, we're talking a little bit more about leadership. We're giving them a little bit more responsibility as far as like organization in scrimmages and all that jazz. We talked to one girl who's much younger, and by much I mean like kind of 2 years old, 2 years younger. She feels the age, but also like if you didn't know that this girl was 2 years younger, you wouldn't know, because like, she's strong. She takes, she challenges the ball. She's one of our goalies. So like talking our kids up, and also a conversation we had with another player about like acknowledging the challenges of being smaller and how to balance that out with other skills, and where to push, where to find that fire inside. So when we're talking about pushing kids, it's like, at what point do you stop and watch what they do? Okay. So like I always do, I think back to my childhood about times that we were pushed, maybe times that we were pushed too far, and times where we were pushed and found success or failure, riches or ruin. I always go back to baseball, because that was that was the main driver of, I would say, where I would say baseball like wasn't my favorite. Played all my life. When I think of baseball growing up, most of what comes to me is stress and anxiety. I was good. I did really well. I found success, but it was never like me standing on the field and be like, this is nice. I could do this for my entire life. It wasn't that. I have more of that feeling with soccer. I'm still playing soccer. But I'm trying to, I think back to like Mr. Stern, Dad, and how we're pushed to be better, find better in whatever form that might take. Whether it's like concentration or skills. I would say soccer, I was much more open to that, whether it's like, fitness or playing up in varsity. I think we both had some varsity experience. I know you broke your leg though, so you kind of had a little hiatus there. But like Coach Angus was on a few days ago, last week, and a lot of feelings came back of being called up to varsity as a sophomore and being like, wow, this is big time. And my first varsity game that I played in was like under the lights on a Friday, which is like the equivalent of going to the major leagues when you're that young. I'm trying to think about the times when I was pushed and failed or struggled more than finding success. And I would say that time came when I was a junior in high school, jumping up to varsity, because sophomore year, I would say that was my sweet spot. Junior year, jumped up into a team of seniors who were just good. They were just good, solid ball players. And that is when I feel like I broke. I didn't break, but I definitely found my psychological limit of being pushed. Same with soccer in college. I did play a year of soccer in college. I know you started with soccer, ended up going to lacrosse for a little bit. That was one too where I just found my limit of commitment and not play. I wasn't playing a whole lot. I was really feeling like bottom of the roster. And that was the first time in my entire life where I was like, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel because this just is not giving me a positive experience.
Well, in soccer, let's be fair that a lot of, well, the Turners are always known for just like, I think hard nose, hard hitting, fast play, where you get to college and it's definitely more about finesse. And so that was one thing that I struggled with, and I never was on the bench ever. And the first time I was on the bench was in college, and I was like, I hate this. And so I was like, I don't even like the coach. I don't even like the kids on my team. I was like, I'm done. So.
Yeah, I was kind of. I mean, there were a few like really great teammates that were encouraging, but for the most part, there were some egos. It was the first time I felt that I could like make my own decision. Oh, look, it's Kriston. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, what's up? Look at that jumper.
Look, I got a coffee.
Green Day.
Oh, hey, you're in green too. We should date. Yeah, that was the first time, beginning of sophomore year of college, where I had the reins, I had the wheel, and I made the decision of, it was the first time I felt that I could make my own decision, that I wasn't like guided into whatever, into higher level soccer. Then I ended up doing intramurals with the international students. That was awesome.
Well, it's good, man. I definitely feel as if it was a good wake-up call all around to it was good to experience something outside of our world. I feel like where we grew up, Long Valley, I think that we would like our life was curated to the point of like we are soccer players, and we didn't really know much else sometimes.
Yeah, like it was like the first time where like there wasn't a parent like guiding us there, I would say.
Yeah.
So
I also never felt like I could quit, which is the big thing. And so quitting was something that I had to almost push myself to do, which is something that I want like my kids to know. It's like quitting is a decision. It doesn't mean it's bad. Quitting is something that can be, it could be a relationship, it could be a job, right? It's for the next best thing. And so, I mean, it's a good reminder even for today, like where I'm stressed about going to this event. Like the better thing for the family could possibly end up being me like quitting or like not going. I just, I think that I was talking to my girls about it, and so like I think they understand kind of like what I'm weighing here. But like if I made a decision not to go, I'd want them to understand it's like, well, Dad's not just like giving up. He had to think of a few decisions, and that's how maybe I should do it too. So it's like that's a way that we can also help to push them in some of these moments as well, and kind of show them that like a decision isn't just like I want to or I don't want to. Like what are like there's feelings. I think there's going to be some objective, things to take into account as well. There's other people and maybe their feelings and that kind of stuff too. So I think this is a process about, showing kids not just pushing to do something, but maybe even pushing them not to do something. I think both are important.
Yeah, I like what you said about quitting is a decision. Like when to decide that just this isn't good for me. For adults, I think we're, I mean, obviously definitely better, more in tune with like the things that are a negative pull on us. As kids, I would say, sorry, as parents with kids, I would say that I think right now, usually the quitting comes when like they're either tired or in a bad mood, not necessarily because the activity or the sport or the team or the class or the assignment is a net negative, right? It's like at what point do you push past that energy threshold and when to kind of back away? We both have girls. My middle, I would say, definitely has a very hard stop between wanting to do something and not. And I'm assuming Dee Dee might be closest to that with you. So as I kind of reflect on like some of those really hard times, I would say what we tend to do is like when Junie says that I'm tired, or yesterday was a tough day, or something else is going on at school. Usually it's talking her up into like the things that she's good at, or trying to reference the last time that she like navigated something at recess or navigated a friendship, because that's kind of her struggle area, or like those black and white feelings on friend groups. Friend groups is our big thing. What are some of the ways that I mean, Sloan seems like she will do anything at least once. She might even do something a second time, even if she half likes it. Dee Dee seems like she definitely knows what she likes and doesn't
Just
like.
go ahead. I'm gonna have to jump. I love you.
Okay.
Chat, I love you too.
Sounds good.
I'll see you guys soon.
Okay. Good to see you. I love you. Bye.
You too. See you guys soon. Bye.
Yeah. With our 2 minutes, folks. Deciding when to push our kids into the event. Kids that are younger than 12, you want to see them thrive in whatever it is that they do, whether it's soccer, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's horse riding, whatever it is. Eventually challenges will come, and eventually they get to that step where they are able, or you see their ability to take that next step, whether it's greatness or a new skill or something. And the big question of the day is, at what point do you stop pushing them and just kind of let them take the wheels, when they take the wheels, singular. When do you give your kids the wheel to kind of make their own path in that? Do I have the answer? As always, no. I just have some very topical advice from raising 3 girls. I have to jump too. My family's upstairs. I hear walking around. Kristen gave me a coffee immediately after I finished my Celsius, so I'm going to be on. I will definitely be an 11 out of 10 until about noon, and then we'll see what happens after that. You guys have a great weekend. Next week, Dom's not here. Ryan's not here. They're both going to be shirtless. Ryan's got abs. Dom's got arms, and I hope they're uncovered for everybody's enjoyment. I would love to have some of you on. I might even ask some people that we haven't seen before. I got a neighbor with a new kid. Maybe we'll see the eponymous Kyle Turner and others. So join me next week. I'm planning on being on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesdays are my mornings. Tuesday, Thursdays are my mornings. So enjoy the week. Push your kids into something new, especially if they haven't showered. Push them into the shower, because that will be my challenge tomorrow night. You guys have a great weekend. Outro music, like Dom does. Enjoy your Friday.